Hello, Collateral Gaming listeners. Chazzle Dazzle here from the Trial by Error Variety Show podcast. I just wanted to take a few seconds to invite you guys over to what we do. No, it's not video games, but we do invite really awesome and unique bands from all over the world. We dig deep into their souls and find really cool stories to tell you, and there's tons of music every week, so subscribe to us wherever you subscribe to your podcast. We look forward to having you.
I'm Ashley Chancellor.
I'm Megan Gomez.
And I'm Agony Rising.
And this is Collateral Gaming. Welcome to Collateral Gaming, the only video game podcast that matters, where we focus on good games, bad games, and everything else in between in the world of gaming. We're podcasting straight from somewhere in South Texas, and yes, my friends, we are a 420 friendly podcast, so whatever you have, smoke it if you've got it. Also, welcome back to Agony. This is your second time on the show, huh?
Hey. The second one, finally.
Hey man, it's really nice to have you on. I mean, we were having a blast with your stream the other day. Rip.
Rip is fucking. I was so upset. It was 47 hours, 56 minutes, and 49 seconds that my stream crashed. And it wasn't even my system, wasn't the game. It was actually the streaming service I was going with that crashed out.
Damn, I know that fucking sucks, dude. I'm sorry, man. You were going for the world record, and I think you would have done it, dude. But it's a cool.
Yeah.
Attempt it maybe later at another point. You know, like that's part of life, right?
If first you don't succeed, try again.
That's the plan right now. I'm going to be using Elden Ring again for that one too.
Okay. Badass. Hey man, we're all behind it, and we're happy to check in on the stream. That was a lot of fun, hanging around for at least the first day or so, and then I just really wanted to dive into the game myself, and that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about Elden Ring. Doing a little bit late for a game launch episode, I guess, because usually we want to try to get these out within a week or two, but it's within a month or so we're gonna keep things mostly spoiler free. Obviously the game's been out for some time, so I'm not gonna be as worried about it on this episode. But yeah, no, first off, Agony, what are your thoughts, having put more time than either of the rest of us have?
So as the last time I checked, I had put about 185 hours into the game already. And honestly, it has to be one of my favorite FromSoft games, and probably one of my favorite games to date that has come out entirely.
Damn. That's awesome.
Nice.
That's awesome. I don't have a lot of experience with the From Software titles myself. I played a little bit of Dark Souls. I did actually start playing Dark Souls again. I got Dark Souls remastered on the Switch, and I played a little bit of that, kind of preparing for this episode, I suppose. But most of the time, I really wanted to dive into the world of Elden Ring. Megan, you what is your experience with From Software games?
Agony. Literally all Agony. Like whenever we were younger, like I would just watch and play this game. For me personally, it's not really. It's a very, very niche game, but there are a lot of things that I do want to touch on and talk about, especially because one of my favorite writers and authors is in this, George R.R. Martin. So I'm very, very excited about that aspect alone. What about you guys?
Fuck yeah. No, I think it. As soon as I heard that George R.R. Martin was working on a game with Hidetaka Miyazaki, instantly I was hype. And what's funny is I didn't find out about this until fairly late, but as I understand it, this game has been anticipated for quite a while, right?
Like 6 years, right?
The game was announced to be in progress near the last DLC for Dark Souls 3, and since then it's probably been one of the most masked but hyped games, I'd have to say, because what was shown for us when we first heard about it was not what we actually got.
Yeah.
Every leak that we have gotten about Elden Ring up to release has been from FromSoft themselves doing it, because that's their marketing strategy. That's what they do. And they just lead you so off topic. Like everyone had heard that there was 4 class systems that you were fighting. Like we were given like a very generalized viewpoint of what we got, which was, going kingdom to kingdom, fighting the rulers of the kingdom, getting their powers and going elsewhere. That was pretty much what we got. We did not expect Elden Ring, which is why a lot of people during E3, when it was shown, was very confused, especially myself, seeing like this really majestically beautiful glowing tree. Like what are we looking at here? What is going on?
Yeah.
And just you see the FromSoft title, and it's like, all right, hands down, like this is the game that's gonna blow out E3, and that's exactly what happened.
Fuck yeah, yeah. I the first time I heard about it was actually at I think it was the last Game Awards, where they talked about this being the most highly anticipated game of the year, which is funny, because that was actually that was very recent. And then as soon as I heard about it there, I didn't stop hearing about it, because I think, like you said, they kind of kept it under wraps for the most part and didn't show a lot of the gameplay until right before. And then but even then, it's kind of like running into this game, you really don't know what to expect, except what you are going to expect from a Soulsborne game, I suppose, which is that you're in this area in the beginning that's kind of a tutorial area. They're going to throw a boss at you that you're intended to probably die by.
So the interesting thing is, like, the first boss, the Grafted Scion, right? The very first one you ever meet, it's like a giant weird spider looking thing.
Mm-hmm.
You can beat the first time through. You're able to beat them like every other Soulsborne boss. You're able to beat them first time through. But the problem is that they're scaled to mid-game level. So when you go through the first time, you're extremely underleveled for it. You can beat them, but it's going to be very hard to do so. I'm on my 3rd or 4th new game. So I've started over. I have all my equipment from my first playthrough, and I just kept going through. Everything's harder. You get more ruins every time you kill something. But actually fighting the Grafted Scion now is just like a walk in the park. It's a complete difference from the first time you play through till now. Now it's just like night and day difference.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of these games are designed, with New Game Plus in mind, but one cool thing about Elden Ring, I suppose, is that because it's an open world game and because you're intended to be able to go to places, you can actually go back and do things that you would have saved for the next game on the same file, because it's an open world. And it almost seems natural. I'm kind of surprised it took as long as it did for a Soulsborne game, with the way that these sorts of action RPGs really focus on grinding and constantly, dying in order to learn, what to do and what not to do. You would think that an open world would complement that perfectly, and it does.
Honestly, I think it has got to be one of the best open worlds I've seen, because it's not, it's like I told my stream whenever I was doing it, there's always something happening, no matter where you're at. No matter like what position you may find yourself in, if you just stop in Elden Ring and you just look around, you'll see the trees moving. You'll see, NPCs, like enemies just walking around, or enemies are talking, or enemies are interacting with something, or you'll see like the wildlife moving. There's always something happening. And I think that's what really makes the game so unique, is that for something where like you are the main character, you don't feel like a main character, because everybody has their own things that they're doing. Everyone has their own problems that they're trying to fix. Like Alexander Warrior Jar, right? You find him stuck in a hole, but he's on his own trying to become like one of the strongest warriors like in the land. So he's doing his own thing. You have no correlation with really helping him out too much, because you cannot help him.
Right.
And then you have somebody like Gostok, the gatekeeper from Stormvale Castle, who notoriously steals your runes if you die.
Really? I haven't come across that. That's funny, because I'm at Stormvale Castle, and I'm still at Stormvale Castle, by the way. I haven't even beat Margit yet.
Okay. So whenever you beat Margit, you're going to find this NPC named Gostok. He's going to tell you to take a side path. Do not die.
Okay.
Whatever runes you may go in, if you die, those runes up until you beat the boss Godric in Stormveil Castle, you will lose bits of runes every single time you die. I think it's like 5% of your runes get taken away every single time.
Damn. Yeah,
so
that's flacked. Yeah, I mean, this game is full of punishing examples like that, though. I mean, obviously, you've got the classic structure of when you die, you have to go pick up your items or you lose all of your currency. In this game, runes, you know. That's just like Dark Souls and other Soulsborne games. But what they also do sometimes is they'll throw you into situations where you kind of actually just lost those runes. Like even in the Round Table hold, that one fucking NPC invader, Mad Tongue Alberic or something. I saw you fighting that motherfucker on the stream, and I tried to fight that motherfucker on the stream. And by the way, your runes are gone if you fight him and you don't win.
Yeah. Well, no. So you can actually get your runes back, but the thing is, what people don't tell you.
You have to beat him though.
No, you can get your runes back if you have an item called the Sacrificial Twig, which people don't tell you because it's just a twig, and you put it on your talisman, and what happens is whenever you die, the twig itself breaks, but you keep all your runes.
So always go into battle with that.
If you don't know what you're getting into,
yeah,
if you don't know what you're getting into, take a Sacrificial Twig, because if you die, then obviously you're not going to have to really worry about going and grabbing your runes. You have what you went in there with, and then you can go back and, grind and level yourself up again.
Yeah. So there's a way to avoid it, but that's the thing, though. The game doesn't tell you that. So 100% players can be put in these positions where, you're just punished. It's welcome to Dark Souls, bitch. It's a meme for a reason.
Yeah. No, it really is just Dark Souls reskinned. Like, add a touch of brightness. Perfect.
An open world.
Like add a different shade. Different shade, open the world up a little bit, and then just like make a little bit more weather. We're good. Done.
Literally.
Genius.
Like I honestly, when I saw the trailer for this game, I was expecting something a little bit different. I didn't expect it to be just Dark Souls reskinned. And I'll be honest, I know that this is what these developers like thrive for, but like I was expecting a little bit more. I'm not gonna lie. I know that's probably just a me thing, but I was like, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this at all. Like I was like, okay.
Well, I guess if you came into it wanting to get the open world Dark Souls, and it's just, I mean, the cherry on top is that, hey, George R. R. Martin's involved, and it's technically a new IP. But I get what you're saying, because like for instance, Sekiro was something that was actually a little bit different from other FromSoft titles. It's not really a Soulsborne game. It doesn't have as many of the RPG aspects. So
exactly. That's kind of what I was expecting, something like Sekiro. So I was like, okay, like well, it'll be a little bit different direction, but maybe similar in that aspect. And it was like, nope, Dark Souls 4 technically. Like, okay, cool.
But see, like, they're probably going to throw new IPs into the thing. I think this is the Dark Souls 4, I guess. This is the sequel to that. And I guess if you're coming into it expecting that, I mean, that's at least what I thought. Are they hard at work on something new? Maybe,
yes.
Okay.
No, they've 100% confirmed it already, because I think within like a week or two ago, they had confirmed that they had sold over 12 million copies.
Yeah.
And Bandai Namco and FromSoft have both agreed that they are working on more for Elden Ring, because it is pretty much just enveloped the gaming world more so than what they had expected. Mm-hmm. Just like I was telling my my moderator, from like you're gonna see, starting from like I'd say the first DLC on, for like the first Elden Ring DLC that drops onward, you're gonna see a complete shift in RPG games. They're going to follow that rule. That's what happened with Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Because Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 3 had won Game of the Year. Mm-hmm. Dark Souls 1 and Sekiro won Game of the Decade. And then Dark Souls 1 had won like Best Game Ever. Like they've thrived on fixing RPGs as it should be. Dark, gritty, hard, but rewarding RPG. That's what FromSoft has pretty much built their empire on. Same with Armored Core. It's a dark, gritty, Armored Core and RPG.
Yeah, when are we getting another Armored Core game?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you, but I do know that there's talks of Elden Ring 2 already in the works. They're thinking about making TV shows and movies with Elden Ring, and most likely it's going to be animated. Not going to complain, because if it's done right, then it's going to be really good. And then they're thinking about doing
Witcher
comic books. Yeah. And then I think they're doing comic books for Elden Ring as well. So I think Elden Ring is pretty much becoming its own personality at this point because of how explosive it is. And if you look at social media, even like a month after, usually where all the hype dies out, about a month afterwards, Elden Ring is still climbing with its hype.
It is, and that's why I'm actually been kind of cool with the fact that we're releasing this episode a little bit later than I had planned, because with other games, sometimes we'll get it out, it'll be like 2 weeks later, a month later, and it's like, okay, nobody's really talking about this anymore. But in this case, 100% not the case. Elden Ring
we
is...
did that with Horizon too, but Horizon has...
It's also still being talked about.
Yeah, it's still being talked about, and it has like minimum like 80 hours of gameplay to even do the fucking story. So I mean, it's fair. I don't know. I'm still really on the Aloy train. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys, because we're playing that right now, and I'm falling in love with gaming again, and this is like really doing it for me. So like I will not stop talking about it, because that was like my New Year's goal. So I am actually thinking about picking up Elden Ring. I've never really played any of the Dark Souls before, and I know that's something that's just completely gonna fucking kick my ass, but I think it'd be exciting to play. Like y'all are convincing me.
So the one of my favorite things with Elden Ring too is that a lot of people, going in, don't understand how the multiplayer works. So that's where they get you, is because Dark Souls had a very wonky, very, very wonky, very kind of fractured multiplayer and co-op system. It wasn't always working. Well, Elden Ring it's an amazing system. Like the co-op and the multiplayer, everything, it works. It's amazing. It's almost seamless.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
Having like my apologies. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
I was about to say, like, it's crazy because like I play with my friends. We have like a password setup that we use, and the fact that like I can just go and invade my friends just to make fun of them or pick on them or something. It's great.
It's like encouraging griefing.
Yeah. And I grief my friends all the time. Like at one point, and a couple of my other friends we're just, all right. So the thing that we like doing is that like like my friends will sit down a sign, like a little red duelist sign, and I'll set one down or something, and we'll invade each other just to like pick on each other. And a lot of the times, like they'll have like weapons that they found. They're like, hey, I want to show off this weapon, or hey, I want to use this weapon, or I want to try out this armor set. And so we'll just sit there and we'll do that, or we'll use the Mimic Veil, and we'll use the Taunter's Tongue that you get from Mad Tongue Outbreak, and we'll have a Mimic Veil, and so we'd use that, and we'd just hide from like other people and stuff like that. It's just fun.
Yeah, there's a big cooperative multiplayer aspect in this game. I feel like even, more so than in pen and pass games. I remember even like I was at work, and I'm looking in the chat, and people are actually talking about playing Elden Ring and like going over to each other's worlds and giving each other items to like make, like, someone was like, hey, I got a lot of items, like I can make you OP, and apparently he knew how to like item dupe or something, and so people can
you can duplicate Ashes of War actually with the Lost Ashes, I think it was called,
and the Walking Mausoleums, right?
Yes. Yeah, you can get your remembrances from the Walking Mausoleums.
Oh, no, you can dupe the remembrances there. That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
I took down one of those, but I didn't have any remembrances yet, so I was like, I can't do anything.
You can go back. You can go back to them.
Yeah.
They don't get back up after you take them down in your playthrough.
Nice. Okay, I was wondering about that, yeah. Because I remember, like, I came back to it at one point, and it was still down, and I was like, okay, cool. But yeah, no, like, there's so much to do, and that's what I remember talking about this on the stream, but you can actually just, like, if you get bored and you're tired of doing something, you can go do something else, and it's even cooler that at any given point, somebody can invade your world. And I actually I just run whenever I see an invader. I'm like, I don't know, I don't feel like I'm powerful enough. Even whenever I'm playing offline, and I guess they're NPC invaders.
Yes.
And they'll just come by, and I'm just like, nope.
So one of my favorite things with Elden Ring too is they took their old storytelling technique from Dark Souls. So a lot of people who are new, like Megan, probably you who haven't really touched Dark Souls, are going in probably told, "Hey, go do this." All right, what's going on?
Right.
Like, what is happening? What am I supposed to do? Like what is the lore behind this stuff? And if you want the answer to that, item descriptions.
Yeah.
That's it. That's have to read your item. Yeah, read the descriptions, the items, the armor sets, the weapons, the items that you pick up, key items, stuff like that. Everything tells you the story. And then it's on you to kind of piece it together, because you are tarnished. You are your character. So you make you. You can help the NPCs, you can kill them, you can just not worry about them. You can do whatever it is you need to do.
Yeah, and I know, like, ultimately, like, your decisions are going to end up shaping reality, on your quest to become the Elden Lord. I know, like, I know that there are multiple different endings in the game.
There are four.
I think there's like six, is what I read,
no,
but no.
Four.
Okay.
And I can guarantee you that because I've done all of them.
Nice.
There's the one that's very it's a very, very hidden one because it's a long quest, but it's the Age of Stars. There's the Age of the Golden Order. Mm-hmm. There's the Age of Frenzied Flame, and then there's just the ending.
Right. So there's I know, like, it's kind of determined based on, and we won't get into it, but like, I know, like, generally that there's a path that's like, if you complete the story, this is what you get, but then there's like, okay, if you do this side quest and make this decision, well, then you can do this, or this happens.
Yes, there is one key NPC. Well, there's two key NPCs that you would generally need for like a full-on story shift, and that is Scribe Cohen.
Mm-hmm.
He talks, like, when he leaves the Round Table Hold, he talks about talking about a man with a golden mask. Well, if you can find the golden mask, that is an NPC for the Golden Order. And then
Gotcha.
if you help the NPC, the witch Ronnie, if you help her, she's the one, like, her quest line is what leads up to the Age of Stars.
Yeah.
And then there's another one that's not really an NPC. It's the Frenzied Three Fingers, which is in Lindell. I'm not going to say where because that's on you guys to figure that out.
Yeah.
That gives you the Frenzied Flame, which gives you pretty much the bad ending, like the worst ending.
The worst ending. Damn.
And like the picture of the worst ending, like where it peels back and it shows like the whole issue of like what you have caused. That is that's my background, because it was an amazing fucking picture. Amazing.
That is fucking amazing. Yeah, it's crazy what you can actually do to sort of, like, to just shape the world that you're in. And what's funny is, like you said, you're just another Tarnished. You're just, one of many that are trying to go after this goal. And I guess maybe by the end, you're the one that actually ends up accomplishing it, maybe. But it is cool that we're in these shoes of, just some other dude. We don't even really know his backstory or her backstory, their backstory, what, anything about them other than that, the Erd Tree doesn't like you, told you to fuck off, and you're Tarnished now.
It's crazy because like you said, you're just another Tarnished. You're in the race for the Elden Lord. Like, somebody you may meet along the road is a Nefeli Lu, which is another Tarnished. Like, you're not going to know much about her at all, but you find out about her as you help with her storyline and stuff like that. And then you come into an impasse where there's a split in her story. Do you help her, or do you, continue her NPC quest line? Yeah. What do you do? That's on you. And then you have the all-knowing. That guy's a pain. The dude with the Spartan helmet, or the Spartan looking helmet.
Mhm.
Yeah, the dude's kind of mean whenever you first meet him in the round table hold, telling you, he's like, oh, you may be tarnished, but you haven't earned your place in the round table hold yet. That
Right.
guy.
Okay, yeah.
He's another tarnish there that's in the runs for Elden Lord. And then you have D, the Death Hunter, or the hunter of those who live in death. And that whole storyline is just a completely different thing. And then a lot of people make a mistake. Fia, the lady who offers to hold you when you're in the round table hold.
Mommy.
Mommy.
I love her. I
I
love to just get held by her. I'm just hold me, mommy.
I can almost guarantee everybody that listens to this podcast is still running around with Borealis's blessing.
Yeah.
Or Boreal's blessing. I highly recommend using it because it actually, holding on to that blessing in your inventory, reduces your health by 5%.
Really?
Yeah. So essentially, you got like Elden syphilis. And people don't know that.
Little tidbit.
Nice.
Yeah, fun fact. Fun fact. I highly recommend getting rid of it.
Okay. That's funny. So, and I think what it does is it transforms like FP into poise or something, and I don't even know what that does. So
poise is more for like tank building. The higher your poise, the more hits you can take before it interrupts your attack. So that's what poise really is for. It's used from like great swords and stuff like that. That's, or like a tanky mage for whatever reason you're doing a tank mage for.
Okay, so I wouldn't have to really worry about that. But yeah, no, what's interesting is that this game also, like any other Soulsborne game, throws you into, the mechanics and whatnot. And there actually are plenty of explanations of everything. If you're actually wondering what a particular stat does, I knew like at any point, if I really wanted to know, I could go over and I could find out what poise does. But it can be sort of daunting to see all these numbers up, and you're like, what am I doing when I'm leveling? I'm like, you know what? I just want a really intelligent character, so I'm just gonna keep raising intelligence. And then later on, I learned, okay, this is what that does. Alrighty.
It's ironic because a lot of people still don't know this. If you're actually in that menu and you press select, it'll bring up like a help menu, and if you hit explanation and
that's
you
what I was
hover over
talking
everything,
about.
A lot of people don't know about that. That's like I think within up until like week 3, people were running around trying to figure out how everyone has like a massive health bar, and it's like, dude, have you not been leveling into your vigor at all? Like, come on, like that is what you need to survive. But people don't know that. For some reason.
Probably the only thing I would level up just health bar the entire fucking time.
So I've been pouring a lot into my intelligence in my mind because I'm trying to build up a mage character. But vigor would be like the next thing for me. Yeah.
Endurance as well, because you need to increase your carry load.
Yeah, that's true. So I don't know. I'm kind of been getting by just using the default weapons and then just trying to like level up my magic. Because the weapons that come with the samurai class are pretty cool, but
yeah, I started with the vagabond actually because I've always been like a sword and shield person, anyways, and I've built my character to be able to wield a great sword and a great shield with like medium to heavy armor. So I'm just like, hey, I'm fine with this because I don't need something too extravagant.
Yeah.
And like a lot of people were running like the Sword of Night and Flame before pre-patch, and then now people are trying to figure out like a good weapon, and everyone still swears by like River of Blood and the Moonveil. One that a lot of people don't know is the Moonlight Greatsword because it has a range attack which does heavy frost damage, and it builds up frostbite, which for those people who don't know what frostbite does is while your frostbite meter is ticking down after it fills all the way up, you take increased damage. It's like 1.5 times more damage than what you would usually take. So if you like a smart move would be pair like frostbite with Scarlet Rod or frostbite with poison or frostbite with bleed, and then you're just doing massive amounts of damage. And then something that I figured out with one of my friends during a co-op mission that we were doing, I was helping him fight one of the bosses, and I inflicted the boss with frostbite. Well, my buddy is running a fire weapon. So I figured out that if you hit somebody with a fire weapon while they are inflicted with frostbite, it gets rid of frostbite entirely.
Oh, that makes sense. See, it's little things like that.
I never figured it because it never happened in like Dark Souls 3, but it happens in Elden Ring.
Yeah.
And then same thing with like the hitboxing too. Like the registration and your hitbox of the character is just so vastly improved from Dark Souls 3.
Really?
It blew my mind. Because like in Dark Souls 3, if you shoot an arrow, try to shoot an arrow between someone's legs, you're probably going to hit one of their leg hitboxes. Well, in this one, you could literally thrust a spear, and like while someone's pulling back for like a heavy attack with a greatsword, it's going to go over them, and there's no like collision. And that's one thing that just blew my mind.
Wow, that is really fucking cool.
It happened an age ago. But when I recall, I see it true. On a night of wintry fog, the rune of death was stolen. And the demigods began to fall. Starting with Godwyn the Golden. Queen Marika was driven to the brink. The shattering ensued, a war that wrought only darkness. The Elden Ring was broken. But by whom? And why? What could the demigods ever hope to win by warring? The conqueror of the stars, General Radar. And the blade of Mikola, Melania the Seventh. These two were the mightiest to remain, and locked horns in combat. But there would be no victor. And so, we inhabit a fractured world, awaiting the arrival of the Elden Lord. Unless, of course, thou shouldst take the crown.
It is amazing how much work went into this, and I know why, so much of the development was so hush for so long was that they really were just ironing it out. And it's like we talked about on the stream, you want a good game, this is how you do it. Don't fucking crunch your devs, man.
Yeah, exactly. You don't give them the time to give them their masterpiece, or else you're just gonna fuck it up for yourself. Like we were talking about, I think Agony and I were talking about that with Horizon, because he had heard that Forbidden West is not that great of a game, and I was like, well, you got to realize they had to retro it for PlayStation 4 because they didn't have enough units, to sell it with the PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
And they didn't have to do that with Elden Ring. So you got the most optimal game right off the bat. You get patches, because players learn all sorts of shit right as things come out the gate, but it's not like, it's they got the time to do what they needed to do, and it shows a lot. Like, I've seen a lot of gameplay, I've watched a lot of it trying to get into it. I'm still trying to figure everything out, but it's like any other Soulborn game where you're just like, I don't know what's happening, but we're going to figure it out, I guess.
You don't know what the fuck is going on. And what's crazy is that, that applies to both gameplay and story. And yet, like you said, there is a lot to discover, but the game doesn't just give it to you. You want to know more about about what's going on. Go read your item descriptions, explore, find out. You want to know actually what the fuck to do? Like, how to actually play the game? Play the game, idiot.
Don't kill the NPCs. They help you. So if you want to kill the NPCs, do the general, the veteran trick, right? Uh-huh. Wait until you're getting ready to start your next game. Like, let's say you're getting ready to start New Game Plus, right? Uh-huh. Don't start right off the bat, because you can go to the Round Table Hold and you can start Journey 2 from the Round Table Hold. Just hit no when it's asking, like when it's black screen asking, hey, do you want to start your Journey 2? No, not right now. Go back through, kill all your NPCs, get your souls, get you're not gonna need the bell bearing, so just grab all the souls you need, grab all the items you may need, buy all the somber smithing stones and all the smithing stones you may possibly need. Yeah. And then turn right around, start your next game, so that way you carry those smithing stones and the somber smithing stones over with you. Because the thing is like New Game Plus 5 in the Dark Souls series, and I'm pretty sure with Bloodborne, and I have a strong inkling that this is also going to be the case with Elden Ring. New Game Plus 5 is when everything scales up more, because everything becomes harder. There's probably going to be new mobs throwing into boss fights, new moves. Bosses are going to hit harder. So armor is going to get a stat increase, and weapons are going to get stat increases as well. So after about New Game Plus 5, you really want to take like a bear weathered longsword, the Lord's Sword and Straight Sword that you get from just the regular guards. Take a bear one from like New Game 4 and then a bear one from New Game 5 and compare stats, because I have a feeling that there's going to be an increase in stats.
Yeah, it makes sense. See, that's crazy that they would think that far into it, but yeah, I mean, FromSoft has multiple New Game Pluses in mind when developing the game, and so there's just like an attention to detail that they know what it's expected of them, and they're delivering on it.
Mm-hmm.
I have yet to feel like unsatisfied with one of their games, in all honesty, and like I've put hundreds of hours into the entire series of Dark Souls, and now into Elden Ring itself. I have yet to feel unsatisfied fighting fighting the bosses, or exploring, or because you find new things. Like, I was on my second or third playthrough, and I figured out that there's hidden floors, which I had never figured. I accidentally figured that out. Because I went to jump attack an enemy and I missed, and I hit the floor instead, and I saw it just disappear. I was like, wait, hold on. Now I don't trust shit in this game, because there's hidden things everywhere.
And the messages can be helpful, and sometimes they're not. Sometimes people are dicks.
Yeah, I'm one of those assholes, actually, because I have one that has become extremely notorious in Limgrave. It's near like the edge of the water, and it's me pointing out saying, "Item ahead, try jumping." And so I've talked to quite a few people, and people have actually made comments about how that's an asshole move, because new people go in, they jump off, and they die. Like, it's not my fault. It's your fault for listening to the message. That's just the way.
Welcome to Dark Souls, bitch.
No shit.
I will show you what it's like. It's fine. Trust everything, and then never trust anything for the rest of your life ever.
You will learn very quickly when playing Elden Ring not to trust people. Very, one of the very first things I did in the game, having no idea what I was doing, or where I was at, or what I was supposed to go and do. I'm in the prologue section, and there's a sign that literally says jump and tells you to jump off this cliff, and I'm like, yeah, what the hell? What's the worst that could happen? And
oh yeah, you found out the worst thing that could happen, huh?
Yeah.
Death.
It's they're very notorious. It's like someone that I said that I'd heard actually earlier today, because like now that we're on like the the asshole messages, the entirety of like the Dark Souls community is extremely toxic, and like that's some of it. Like in that, I'm part of that community. We are like one of the most toxic community ever. You hear how Overwatch or Apex or League of Legends is really bad. Like no, Dark Souls, like the Dark Souls community is terrible and notorious, and it's taking over Elden Ring as well because they gatekeep. They gatekeep, and they're like, oh well, you're running this build, not this build. Well, then you're garbage or shit. Stop playing the game or whatever. Like it's so bad. It is so bad.
Yeah, I think maybe that's why I haven't really gotten into any of the communities, because I'm just like, yeah, I just want to enjoy the game and build towards.
I'm the type to like join like a group and like be like very in like a support, like not like a support group, but like very supportive like community where they're like, hey, like if you're having trouble, try this. This one's like, nah, fuck you.
No. Never. Make sure, like, if you're going to like, if you need help with a boss or something, or you need help with like just getting items, half the time I have the item and I have like multiple duplications of the item, and I hate dupes out the ass. So I will just give you an item that you need. If I'm not using it and I don't want it, you take it. I don't need it. I'm not gonna miss it. Yeah. Like there's a weapon, and if somebody out there wants this weapon, it's a dagger that you can no longer get because of a Deathbox patch. I have the dagger because I found it like a couple days before the patch. I accidentally fell down and I found it, but you can't go down there anymore because there's a little Deathbox area, so it is an unattainable item. Nice. But I do have the item, so if somebody wants it and is building a beast, like a beast magic or beast mage. Because there's the beast incantations. If you are building into that and you want the dagger, it boosts the beast incantations by like 2 or 3 times or something like that. I don't know the actual numbers, but it does boost the damage that those beast incantations do. Nice. So if you want the dagger, let me know. I can give it to you because I have no use for it.
It's a cool thing to have, though. That is fucking awesome.
You think you're cool? I have an item you can't get anymore, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's maybe 100, 200 people who found it.
So did they ever patch the clipping through the water thing that we discovered on day 1?
No, because that's Edge. That's the Edge.
So they just don't care.
No, that's the edge of the map.
Yeah.
You just I figured out how to get to the island, and you actually have to go under the ground to get to the island.
Right.
I know it's over there too. It's the Church of Dragon Communion, the first one in Limgrave. The second one is in Caelid. And I found the Church of Dragon Communion, which is where when you kill a dragon, you get a dragon heart. You take that heart to that church, and then you use it, and you get dragon powers. So you can become a dragon knight or a dragon mage or something like that. So it's like something that's like out of the way, that if you don't know what you're looking for, if you're not actively looking for a way to get over there, you're never going to find it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of things like that. Like, for instance, I'm looking and I see, of course, the giant Erd tree. But one of the other things that comes to mind is what about all these other ones? I mean, that one looks not that far away. Can I go to it? And you go to it, and you're in an area that you probably shouldn't be yet, and there are really hard enemies. But hey, you went there and you discovered the thing, and you opened up your map. So.
I feel like that's what I would do first thing, is just run around the whole fucking map and just like run away from enemies and try and do that shit.
You honestly very easily can. As soon as you get the horse, just fucking, you can go where the fuck you want. And I think even that boss, that Margit, that I'm still trying to get past, like, I know I can get past him if I don't want to fight him, but
that horse, by the way, is chunky. That's a thick horsey.
So for you, Megan, the horse is extremely fucking thick, extremely fat. I love Torrent. Fucking amazing horse.
Torrent, best horse ever. Can your horse double jump? Didn't think so.
Yeah, sit down. Torrent's better. And then Margit, you actually cannot bypass him. He is a required boss fight.
Oh, is he? Okay.
So
I guess I was reading up on like how to
Sure.
fight him, and I thought I saw that he was bypassable, but if not, I don't plan on it. I'm gonna fight him because I want to get the experience. But
so a lot of people think that the map ended at like the Altus Plateau where like Lindell, the capital, is. It doesn't. There's a place north of it that you can only get after you beat another boss in the capital.
mm-hmm.
And it's extremely story related. So you only get the option to go up there, called the Mountaintops of the Giants, after you beat, the capital.
Okay.
And then there's another place that's actually under the lands between. You go underground, and there's a whole nother map.
Well, I stumbled into like this like riverbed and then I saw all these messages that were like good luck, and it was like hard enemies ahead. I was like, nope. I turned right around and went right up above the ground again.
Oh, that was definitely the Siofra riverbed.
The Siofra
I know
one.
exactly where you're at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. There's also a way to get under the Great Erd Tree as well. It's
Oh,
called
really?
Deep Root Garden under there. Yeah, and I'm sorry if you ever find your way down there. I'm very sorry. Those mausoleum enemies are really difficult. And then that's also where you can continue the Deathbed Maiden's quest line. That if you let her hold you again while you're down there, you get an access to a secret boss called the Lich Dragon. And if you fight that thing, I am sorry. I fought it, and I killed it. I got the achievement for it, and I was like, I'm never fighting this thing again, ever. Because I've fought hard bosses, and the Lich Dragon it has the ability called Death Lightning. So it strikes you with lightning, and then it puts like a death cloud that if you're touching it and you stay in there for too long, immediate death. No matter how much health you have, it's just instant death.
Oh, is it the death element or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So out of all the bosses that you fought, can you compare one to that boss? Like out of another game?
So I would say I would much rather fight pre-patch Radon over the Lich Dragon. So the reason why I say pre-patch Radon is because Radon now has like his weapon hitbox is reduced by 40% and his damage is reduced by 10%. And his aggression has been fixed, so it's whoever hits him last, like every other boss or every other NPC.
Yeah.
And then his health was reduced a little bit. Now pre-patch Radon, when I fought him during the stream, that was a pain in the ass because that dude, like, he would one hit you. You could have a full health bar and he would just done. You're done. Get out of here. Like, you don't deserve to be here. Like, go away. And you have to fight Radon for Ronnie's quest. And it's such a pain because it wasn't even like, it wasn't even the first phase. You got past phase 1. You go into phase 1.5 where he adds gravity magic to his abilities. So this dude's like a massive tank, or like he's about the size of a tree. And then he gets gravity for some reason. And then at halfway health, he goes into phase 2, which then he jumps up into the sky, turns into a meteor, and crashes down on you. And if you get hit by it, you're dead. And it's like, dude, like, there has to be a limit of what bullshit is, and it is definitely Radon. Like, pre-patch Radon is bullshit.
From what game?
From Elden Ring.
Oh, from Elden Ring. Okay, that's another boss in Elden Ring.
Yeah, pre-patch Radon is a pain in the ass. I would much rather fight pre-patch Radon as opposed to the Lich Dragon, though.
Yeah. Damn.
Well, that's probably gonna get patched then too at some point. No.
It's a hidden boss.
Yeah.
So it's like, fuck it, like you're here for a challenge,
Yeah, because you have to fight 5 bosses before you can even go into that area. So like you fight these 5 bosses, and then you go into the area to fight another boss. Like, you're here clearly looking to suffer, have fun, and that's pretty much how it is.
Yeah. Exactly. Like, you go into this game, like, I know when I'm loading up Elden Ring, I know exactly the experience that I'm in for. I know what I'm gonna get into, and I couldn't probably stream for as long as you did. I can only do so many doses of it before I'm like, man, I just feel too punished. But the nice thing about it is, and I think the thing that makes it easier to do with Elden Ring at least, though, is that, there is constantly always something to do. And if you don't like what you're doing, you can go off and on the map and go do somewhere else. You can literally just explore the map for some time and just kind of open the map up and figure out where things are at and listen to merchants and, hear rumors and whatnot and unlock things and have a good time doing that for a while. And when you get sick of that, okay, let's go try to tackle that boss now. Nope, died too quickly. Alrighty, let's grind up more.
go do your own. Like, a lot of people don't know that you can meet an NPC called Blythe relatively early on if you talk to Kale, which is the merchant in the first Church of Ella, like right above the first steps. If you talk to him, you go to the Mistwood Ruins and you listen for howling. You go back and talk to Kale. He'll tell you about like a wolf, and then he'll teach you an emote or gesture called finger snap. Well, if you go back to the Mistwood Ruins, you snap your fingers, you're gonna meet Blythe.
I did that actually.
Yeah.
And that just goes to like talking to merchants. I didn't realize at first. I was like, oh, this is kind of conversational, whatever. No, there's actually kind of a purpose here. I guess if there's it's worth it to talk to merchants and just listen to what they have to say.
Every single NPC is worth it.
Yeah.
And like, you'll hear people bitching about like the new edition with the map where like if you meet an NPC, it kind of marks them on the map now.
Yeah.
People were kind of bitching about that, but like, dude, like that's
good.
You have to understand the map is massive. The map is
you need
like,
some fixed points so you understand where things are. Even if you've played that game over 100 hours, you can still get lost in the game, I feel like. Because I've seen the map itself, and it's massive and extensive. And I understand that there's not, like, like a game like, Zelda. A lot of people were comparing this map style to Breath of the Wild. So for example, like Skyrim, like there's so many points on the map, and if you zoom out and you look at it, like it can get overwhelming. I feel like this game, it's kind of good that they added at least something. Excuse me, you are not allowed to scratch my headset. Sorry guys, my cat is just acting a fool. Anyways, I feel like it's kind of good that, you don't have as many fixed points, so you're not just like, okay, cool, like whatever,
Yeah, I do feel like Elden Ring is fairly minimalist with the user interface in general, which is nice. Just throwing yourself into a world and kind of just going wherever your heart takes you.
Yeah, like you have so much at your disposal, right? Like you have so many items to use, you have so much to work with, right?
Yeah.
They never tell you about like the satchel, which if you press and hold things like triangle for the PlayStation, Y for Xbox, it brings up like another little interface. It's like pouches that are just like quick use items. Like I have those set specifically for like my PvP stuff or my co-op stuff, so I can just put my mark down real quick, or I can pop my Fro Collar Finger Remedy real quick. I don't have to go through the whole menu to look for it or anything like that. Like it's stuff like that I'm just like, you have to quite literally look for what you need before you can do anything. And I love it, because I hate when games guide you so much where they're holding your hand. Okay, now go fight this boss, go fight that boss. Like, okay, cool. For an open world, Legend of Zelda did a really good job at holding your fucking hand. And they also did a really good job at not punishing you for overstepping your boundaries. Right now, the biggest meme going around is Elden Ring will always find a way to fucking humble you.
Yep.
And it does. Like, you overstep, you're like, oh, I found, a chest in this one like spot in Limgrave, and it fast travels you to Caelid. Okay, cool. I'm just in another part of the map. It's fine. You walk out and you die. One hit from just like a small little NPC, like a little miner, just pokes you with a stick.
Get good.
Dead. Yeah, it's like, holy shit. Like there's a steep gap in like map sections as opposed to like
you could address almost any complaint of this game with get good.
Yeah, no, you can 100%. And that's like Miyazaki's favorite thing is his response when Dark Souls first came out was get good. They made a meme out of it, and it's still wholeheartedly a thing.
Oh, yeah.
It is the essence of it. But I guess we'll sort of get into our final thoughts here on Elden Ring. Starting with you, Agony. What do you think, man?
If my experiences with Elden Ring could be summed up with just a name or even a word, I would have to say Melania as a boss.
Okay.
You know, with that because, she pretty much sums up the entire experience of Elden Ring. You jump in, you see this really majestic thing. Cool. It's a fight. I'm going to go do it. One tap, dead. Okay, let me try to change up something around. One tap, dead. Just consistently. Oh, I finally beat the first part of her. Guess what? Phase 2, fucker. Have fun. One shot, dead. Like, all right.
Cool.
So honestly, like, Melania is probably the best way to explain Elden Ring, and I fucking love it.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, I'd have to agree, honestly. Elden Ring, I mean, I haven't fought that boss battle, but it's very much what that experience that you're describing, I think, is really just the essence of it. It's something that I hadn't really. The last game I think I played that really sort of challenged me like that was Metroid Dread, I guess. And that game only has a few very hard parts. It's not a hard game overall. This game is hard even when you're fighting, some of the most basic bosses, and that's okay. I mean, I think that's part of the point is and that has always been the point of FromSoft games is you're supposed to die and be punished and learn, be humbled, as you say. At least you have the option of going back, retrieving everything, so you don't have to lose everything. Although I guess there are points in the game where if you're not careful, you very easily can lose everything.
You shit push in.
But that's part
100%.
of the experience, That's part of the, welcome to Dark Souls, bitch. Get good, Both of those memes, I think, sum up. And Elden Ring just is the logical progression of that for me. It's, taking that format into the open world, which is honestly sort of perfect. I think that they absolutely delivered on that in every way, and I don't doubt that this game will get Game of the Year. Just everything considered.
Without a doubt.
I know. Hey, I would be happy with Forbidden West as well, but I'm just knowing all of the hype and everything. It's like it's hard to imagine anything except Elden Ring winning. But hey, something magnificent can still come out later this year. That's what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
That is true.
I mean, I'm excited to see because I've heard that a lot of cool stuff is coming out this year. But getting into my final thoughts, because I'm an outsider coming into this perspective. I think it's something that would be worth picking up. I wouldn't say this is a type of game where you come home from work and you unwind, because this game seems like it'll just mentally and physically and emotionally punish you.
Find a guide. Get a guide.
Yeah.
Find somebody to help you.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, this game seems like it'd be fun to dip into and, dip your toe in and see exactly what the talk is all about. Because if you're not hearing about Forbidden West, then you're hearing about Elden Ring. And if you're not hearing about either one of those, it's, what's coming out later this year. So I feel like they're in a pretty even match. And I know I'm not going to stop praising, Guerrilla Games, because they're doing so well. And, we're getting more content. They have confirmed that. And I'm excited to see what's going to come from these guys, because I've heard a lot of good things. And of course, I've seen Agony play hundreds of thousands of fucking hours of Dark Souls in any Soulborne game possible. So I'm excited to see what's to come for this, because I've from what I've seen, this game deserves the hype. And even though I'm an outsider and it's not my niche, I'm happy for this developer. It seems like they're getting what they worked for, and that's good for them.
Fuck yeah. You still there, Agony?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, your picture was just frozen. I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely worth a shot. I think that if you've got a little bit of money and you're looking to purchase a new game this weekend, 100% get Elden Ring. I mean, it's something that I think everybody should try. Maybe even if you're not a fan of Soulsborne games, I think I still give it a shot, because with the open world aspect, there's another level of what's possible, and so grinding doesn't have to be monotonous.
I feel like for a full console game, this is like the Zelda of full console.
Yeah,
like the Breath of the Wild of full console.
Yeah. No. This game is going to be talked about for quite a bit of time, and props to George R.R. Martin for crafting such a wonderful story. Even if all the lore is in the details and is for you to find, it's magnificent. What he did with it. He
does that in the Game of Thrones show as well. Like he elements a lot in his in his storytelling. And it's not so much like a Euphoria kind of thing where like it's like in the makeup and in the nails. It's in the small details of like Dany's hair and stuff like that in Game of Thrones. So like for me personally, as a huge George R. R. Martin fan, like I've read all of the books, I've watched all the show. Fucks the last season anyways, going on from that. Just to see that George R. R. Martin is reaching out and trying something completely different is cool to see. And I'm actually wanting to pick up this game just for that reason entirely, because I fucking love him as a creator and a narrator. So I'm interested to see how this game could go for me personally.
You will 100% see his influences in this game. They are there. The interactions between like the characters, the environment, everything, it is there.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, it is so cool, like just wandering around and you come across a pot dude, a dude that's a little pot just poking out of the ground. Hey, will you help me out? And, and just the weirdest, most random shit. Come across a boss in the wild and you're like, okay, cool. I'm staying the fuck away from that guy.
100%, especially Night Cavalry. Man, those dudes are terrifying. Big black knights on big fucking demon shrouded horses for whatever reason.
Oof.
Yeah, those dudes mess you up.
But anywho, I'm glad that we finally were able to talk about Elden Ring and actually get this out, because I mean we had to talk about it. I mean, I think out of everything that came out this season, this was one of the the games that I was like was always on the schedule. Like we're gonna have to do something,
100%.
Just because of all the hype, even if it ends up being a Cyberpunk, which thankfully it wasn't.
Yeah, even though I don't play the game and I haven't played any of these games, I wanted to talk about it because there was a lot that has been talked about, and this game is so very well deserved and very well hyped that I was like, even if I'm not a personal player of the game, I want to fucking talk about it.
So anyway, 5 out of 10. You can't change your genitals. Sorry. Get customize your genitals.
Sex with Keanu Reeves, gay.
No. But yeah, Elden Ring. What a fantastic game. I'm glad that I was able to play it. I'm glad we were able to talk about it. Guys, we had probably a little bit of a schedule change just with episodes getting out whenever they got out in life or whatever. So it looks like Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice is going to be coming out probably in May. So the next thing that we're
Agony, I really hope you're on that episode, bro, because that's your shit. I picked that game for you, motherfucker.
I mean, if you guys want me there, I'll be there.
Fuck yeah, dude.
You're actually the whole reason why I really wanted to. I've been talking to Ash about this, actually. I really want to do you and Victims and Villains on this next one coming up, because this is a huge game about mental health. You've played a lot of this game and it's on your stream a lot. And, we're really, really wanting to talk about it.
Yeah.
It's ironic that you say that too, because a lot of the viewers that I do have got unnerved with Senua's Sacrifice. And it wasn't until the end of the game where I had to explain why it was so unnerving for them that everyone it clicked in their heads.
Yeah, the whole group chat. I was there when it happened. They were all like, "Oh, got it."
It's a crazy ass game, and I've barely played a little bit of it, but I did start it. But we'll be doing that in May. For the month of April, of course, it's our 420 month, so we're doing a 420 special on GoldenEye, which we'll be playing on original hardware. Bo and I, and hopefully Robert as well. Yeah. Before that, though, our next episode is going to be Anthem. That's going to be our bad game review. Because what better to pair with that in the month of April?
Girl, I just had a memory pop up for that game, and I shed a tear of hatred.
I beat that game, and I really wish I wouldn't have.
I beat that game in a day and a half.
I got it for Christmas. I haven't played it yet, but because I've just been busy. Well, I'm gonna have to.
Woefully disappointed, bro. Prepare to be woefully fucking disappointed.
Just start the podcast and listen to Megan bitch about it, and that's literally entirety of it. That's all you need.
Well, we got to check those boxes. We got to do those. We got to do those bad game reviews. So I'm excited for that. Hey, Bo, you want to talk about what's going on with Collateral Cinema?
Yes,
I
it's
didn't
going
even
to
know Bo was
be
there 'cause your background.
anniversary time, or should I say Miike-versary time, as we check out Takashi Miike's Band Masters of Horror episode, Imprint. That's going to be really interesting, and hopefully we'll be getting to the Cowboy Bebop episode here pretty soon. Otherwise, we might be doing something like, I don't know, So I Married an Axe Murderer or something like that. So, yeah, look for all of that coming up down the pipeline and everything. So, yeah, check out Collateral Cinema.
Fuck yeah, man. And
Another word from our sponsor.
but guys,
Raid
if
Shadow
you
Legends.
if you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or feedback on your platform of choice. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. So hit us up there. We've also got a Facebook group called Collateral Media Podcasts, where anybody can pop in and post memes and news that are movie or video game or podcast related. I even fucks with anime and TV shit sometimes in there. So it's a cool place. Check us out on Podchaser, and also make sure you give us money on our Patreon. Yeah, give us money. I'm demanding it. I was already midway through the sentence.
Patreon, we're gonna do playthroughs, bro.
No, if you enjoy the podcast, you want to support what we do, hit us up on Patreon and with your cash.
Yep.
And
With that
you
money,
get
money,
access
dollar
to
bill.
exclusive Let's Play video game commentaries. We'll do more as we get more money for it. And that money would all goes towards the podcast and that, because I pay a small fee to host this shit. It's not a lot, but it's something.
Mm-hmm.
And more money means better equipment and shit too. So, and maybe possibly quitting our day jobs and being able to focus on this. That's my goal.
That would be fun. I'd love that. 10 out of 10. Would recommend. 2 thumbs up.
But yeah, and so I'm really high right now, so I'm not even on my A game. I'll be completely honest.
Fair enough.
But you can find Collateral Gaming wherever you get your podcasts. We are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, YouTube. And if there's anywhere where we're not, let us know. If you want to collab with us, if you want to guest host, whether you're a streamer or just a gamer, just a fan of video game shit, or another podcaster, hey, we'd love to have you. If there's something that you want us to talk about, if an upcoming game is coming out, hit us up in the DMs. They're always open, unless you're like a bot, like a sex bot.
Bro.
Yeah, Don't. If you're a sex bot, don't message us, please.
Bippity boppity back up, Cinderella. I don't need you in my life.
Because I just hit follow. I hit follow back on everybody that follows me, unfortunately, and maybe I shouldn't do that, but yeah.
Yeah, because then we get random ass DMs, and it's like, God forbid my husband looks over my shoulder and it's a sex bot. I'm like, how do I explain this right now? Ash allowed to follow back.
Jesus. Well, but anywho, that being said, I'm Ashley Chancellor.
I'm Megan Gomez.
And I'm Agony.
And thanks for being on, man. 100% would love to have you on again, by the way. We'll definitely talk about it, especially if you want to be on that Hellblade episode.
Hell yeah.
I'm good. Just let me know what time, and I'll do my best to be there.
Shit. All right, guys. Well, Collateral Gaming out.
Peace.
Collateral Gaming is a Collateral Media podcast. All music and game clips are owned by their respective creators and are used for educational purposes only. Please don't sue us. We're poor.